You know this wait is not for nothing. Uncertainty is present and you feel it. The expectation creates a vicious cycle. He disappears, he shows up, promises, doesn't fulfill them, and you, waiting, justifying, adapting, staying. It's not confusing, it's the raw reality. Every time you ignore the pattern, the pain increases. You look for signs, as if they were the answer. But what does that really reveal? The need to believe in something that may never happen. If he wanted to, he would act. If he respected, he would care. If there was clarity, there would be no room for doubt. The bond exists because you sustain it. Not because it is strong, but because you cannot cut it. What you call hope is just adaptation to absence. Those who control the situation don't need to justify it. Those who accept what comes live in a cycle of wear. The truth is simple. As long as you remain available, the game continues. For him. You don't need more promises. You don't need more empty words. You need to decide if you will accept this cost. And the reality has already been presented. You see yourself in this cycle, don't you? The routine becomes a labyrinth, and you the prey that circles without escaping. The messages never come at the right time. The promises evaporate as soon as you believe them. He is where he wants to be. And you? You are here, accumulating frustrations. Look at your reactions. Every time he disappears, you wonder what you did wrong. You look for the answer when, in fact, you should be looking for the way out. The pattern repeats with a deafening rhythm. It's an ineffective dance, and you already know the steps. He spins, you follow. He disappears, you wait. This is the routine. Why do you still believe in recovery? Because the idea of a different future offers more comfort than the current reality. You prefer the expectation over the void. This is human, but at the same time, it's a trap. If you could see it from the outside, what would your reaction be? You would probably say that this cycle has no end, that it won't change, and maybe you would be right. The pain is real, but the choice to continue is yours. Think about your friends. They observe, but what can they do? They don't live your story. They don't know the complexities of this bond. Each unanswered message is a new layer of loneliness. You feel it, an anguish that goes beyond mere disinterest. It is a reflection of how you value yourself. What is a healthy relationship? A mutual commitment. Someone who is present, who invests on the same terms, who doesn't make you feel like an option. And yet you remain in the shadow, wondering if he truly cares. This wears you down, you don't realize it, but this waiting consumes your energy. Each hesitation from him drains your confidence. You give space, but the void expands. Each silence increases the distance, and you try to fill that space with justifications, with promises only he makes. If he wanted to, he would act. But you keep waiting for something that probably will never come. And the most insidious thing about all of this? You normalize it. Discomfort turns into routine. Every time this happens, you create a new version of the normal. What was once an exception is now a rule. You accept crumbs while justifying your place at the table, but you don't need this. Sometimes you feel a pang of anger at yourself for submitting to this situation. What you feel is not just love. It is the need for validation, the desire to be chosen. And each day that passes without a response is a reaffirmation that you are not a priority. You ask yourself, what if I leave? The idea is scary. The uncertainty of freedom is much greater than the pain of waiting. And so resistance to the new becomes a shield. You choose the known pain over uncertainty, and this strangely comforts you. The cycles do not exist only between you two. They are present within you. It's a pattern that you reproduce. You find yourself in similar situations. The repetition of mistakes becomes a habit. And here is the irony. You are always waiting for a new person to bring about change, but change does not come from the outside. It starts internally. Without action, there is no hope. Without decision, there is no future. You feel paralyzed, but the truth is that this state is self-inflicted. You have become accustomed to waiting, and this needs to stop. What are your alternatives? Engage in what builds, not what destroys. Choose to forge new paths. It may be terrifying, but you have already allowed yourself to feel worse things. You have already endured the endless anxiety of waiting for someone who did not know how to value you. The reality has already been presented, and now you must decide. There is no magic here. There are choices, and these choices define who you will be tomorrow. You see yourself in this cycle, But how much longer do you intend to remain? It is time to realize that the power to change is in your hands. You think you are waiting for him, but the truth is that you are waiting for yourself. The reflection in the mirror screams louder than any unanswered message. You have lost yourself in an emotional labyrinth where each turn is a repetition of the same mistake. Expectation mixes with pain and frustration, creating a cycle that seems to be endless. But here is the detail you ignore. This waiting is part of a learned pattern. Since you were a child, you were conditioned to believe that love is synonymous with sacrifice. You learned to seek approval, to wait for confirmation, to live with the expectations of others. And this learning is reflected in your relationships. You adapt, you mold, you dissolve in the presence of those who should not have that power over you. Meanwhile, your essence fades away. Each passing day, you sacrifice a bit of what is left. Love is not a game of patience. It should not be a solemn dance of empty promises. But you, with hope tied to your heart, wait for something to change. If only he could see what you see. If only he could feel what you feel. But the fact is, he doesn't. And you start to realize that this waiting is a form of self-sabotage. The idea that you need him to be whole is an illusion. Within four walls, you ask yourself, what if you allowed yourself to be whole on your own? What would that mean? For many, it would be a step towards freedom. For you, it is terrifying. Perhaps that's why you choose the familiar pain. It is predictable. It is comfortable. You don't know what comes next if you leave all of this behind. The unknown sounds threatening. You might lose control. Uncertainty is frightening. But pain is an old friend, and loneliness has become your confidant. There is no more room for romance in your life. When you look around, you realize that others are living. They give themselves without fear, embrace love as something genuine. But you remain trapped. The snake's tail coils around you, and with each passing day you unfold more and more, until you can no longer recognize yourself. Each read message, followed by hours of expectation and silence, is a blow to your self-esteem. You compare yourself. Comparisons are never fair. You see yourself as a distorted reflection of your insecurities. At certain moments, anger becomes fuel. Anger at him, anger at yourself. But what follows? There is no growth in anger, only stagnation. You wanted to understand, but the only thing you understand now is how much you allow yourself to suffer, and that is frustrating. Many painfully adapt to chaos as if it were a form of survival. The problem is that you are not alive, you exist, but that is not enough. The resistance to the new is a shield that needs to be broken. Settling into pain only brings more pain. While you wait, life passes by. The world moves forward, and you sink into your own emotional stagnation. It's time to confront the issue that has been hiding under layers of hope. Who would you be without this waiting? Looking at this version of yourself can be terrifying, but it can also be liberating. Think of the moments when you truly lived. When you were happy, unbound, free from expectations. Do you remember what that means? It's a distant echo now, but it doesn't have to be. The memories of shared laughter, lived passions, and even overcome heartbreaks dance in the shadows of your mind. Have you ever tried to embrace that version of yourself that was complete and secure? Dive into the possibility of this freedom. Try to see the other side of the coin. The light you fear might be what you really need, and in doing so, start to notice the little things. What do you like to do? What are your forgotten hobbies? Where is your creativity? All of this is a bridge to self-discovery. You don't need to wait for anyone to feel joy. Build your own happiness. Your friends will be there, ready to support you. But you need to take the first step. You must decide to be the protagonist of your story, not a supporting character in the narrative of someone who doesn't see your worth. This will require courage. Courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. The power to change lies within you. You need to face the pain, confront it head-on. The choice is clear. Continue in the shadow or seek the light that has always been within you. Do not neglect your worth. What you deserve is not crumbs, but a worthy feast. And this feast begins with the decision to stand up and walk, no matter how frightening it may seem. You have waited long enough. Now seek action. Look inside and ask yourself, what do you really desire? And above all, what are you willing to do to achieve that? Reality has been presented. The choice is yours. Have you ever stopped to consider the weight you carry, not just the pain of waiting, but the burden of others' expectations? Every look, every comparison, every unmet expectation accumulates like a rock on your back. You walk with this day after day. and the road becomes increasingly steep. How many times have you felt like a spectacle, applauding, hoping he returns to the stage, while your own life unfolds gradually in the shadows? The audience doesn't see it, but you feel short of breath. The laughter of others is a distant echo. The reality is that you are trapped in a storyline you didn't write. And the dialogues, they are empty. When was the last time you looked in the mirror, not just with your eyes but with your soul? The reflection you see carries the story of someone who accepted what they shouldn't have, a face that tries to smile while the pain hides under a mask of normalcy. But the truth? The truth is that you are losing yourself. And with each day without action, this loss deepens. You find solace in conversations with friends, but deep down, you know they are not there to understand the depth of your labyrinth. They see you conforming to someone else's impositions, but they say very little. And when they do speak, it's with superficial concern, not knowing what it's like to be the person who waits for a signal that never comes. What if, instead, you started looking after yourself, started treating yourself as the protagonist you are? Imagine the scene. You choosing your own path, not waiting for permission. You don't need the recognition of those who don't see your worth. The hours you spend thinking about him could be invested in your own dreams, your own life. Have you ever daydreamed? And what if those dreams weren't just fantasies? What do you truly desire? A life filled with experiences, true love, genuine companionship. It may seem distant, but it's there, waiting to be revealed. Why not start drawing that future now? Leave the stories of frustration behind and begin to write your own narrative. Learn to value what brings joy, the hobby you abandoned, the passion you set aside. How long has it been since you decided to invest in yourself? Imagine yourself exploring new activities, making new friends. Each new connection is an opportunity to expand your world, not to restrict it. Life shouldn't revolve around someone who doesn't prioritize your presence. When you realize this, freedom becomes a tangible path, not a distant dream. And what about your self-image? What do you feel when you look at yourself? Instead of seeing insecurities, start to see potential, strength, and beauty. Recognize the power that resides within you, something that has always been there waiting to be awakened. Each day is a new chance to rediscover and reaffirm your identity. If you allow yourself, you can leave that shadow behind. It's a choice, a decision that only you can make. The idea of being alone might seem scary, but solitude is an opportunity for self-discovery. What if you allowed solitude to be your ally instead of your enemy? Many people flee from this empty space, but it can be a fertile ground, a place where you can plant your wants, your desires, your aspirations. Instead of waiting for someone to fill that space, give yourself the chance to flourish. Life doesn't make promises, but it offers opportunities. Each step out of the vicious cycle is a step towards autonomy. The question is not whether you will find love, but whether you will find yourself first. You don't need a relationship to validate your existence. You can be enough for yourself. While you're in this cycle, you perpetuate the illusion that happiness is tied to someone else. But the truth is that it resides in your ability to love and value yourself. What you seek is not someone to complete your life. It is someone to enhance it. And what if you allowed yourself to make mistakes, to live without the bonds of expectation? You don't need to be perfect, you can be human, and that humanity with all its flaws and imperfections is what makes you unique. So what will it be? Allowing the chains of the past to hold you back, or seeking the light that shines within you? The path is yours, the decisions are yours, the reality has been presented, and now you need to decide. Waiting is choosing stagnation. Taking a step towards yourself is embracing transformation.